Hello everyone, in this video we are going to show you how to specify some data of customers using structure and some user defined functions. So at first we will write hash include IOStream using namespace standard. Then we would declare the structure customer. The structure members would be name, account number, balance. Account number and balance would be of integer type and name would be of character type. Then we'll define the structure variable. It would be C, array of 200. We'll declare the function. The function declarations would be taking place: void detail, void balance sheet, void deposit. Then we would write int main, and inside it we would call the functions detail, balance check, and deposit. Now we would define each and every functions. Now the function declarator rather would be written here, void detail. Now each function, the function of the body would be is here. Now we would declare the variables ni of integer data type, and we'll enter the number of customers. So we'll enter it. Now we'll include the for loop. If I is equal to 1 and I is less than equal to the number of customers, then only it would print the name of the customer. So one by one, the customer name, its account number, its balance would be printed out. Then we would that's one function. Now the next function, the function declarator, it's void balance check. Now the function body would again declare the variables inn of integer data type. Now we print out the customers with balance less than 100. So for that we would again introduce the for loop. So all customer numbers from 1 to the entered number of customers would be checked, and if their balance is less than 100, then the customer name, its account number, and its balance would be printed out. So that's another function done. Now the second function declarator is void deposit. Now the function body, and here we would print out the transaction record. So we will declare the transaction and repeat as integer data type. We'll include a do while loop. In do while loop we will declare the variables m and an amount of integer data type and print out the number, the customer number. Now we would which numbered customer with whose transaction we want to find out. So here we'll enter the number. Now if that number is less than equal to the total number of customers, then only it will go for the transaction. So it will go on and ask for 1 for deposit and 0 for withdrawal, and the transaction would be entered. Now if the transaction is equal to 1, if it's comparison, if the transaction is equal to 1, then it will carry out a deposit function, transaction. So we'll enter the amount, then we'll print out the name of that customer, its account number, and the amount of money that is to be deposited. So if the transaction is 0, then it would enter again the same thing will happen. We'll enter the amount and the name of the following customer, the account number, its balance would be, and the amount of money to be withdrawn is to be printed. If anything else has been entered other than 1 or 0, it would say transaction cancelled. Now if the customer number, as we said for this if statement, if the m is greater than equal to the total number of customer, then it will print out invalid customer number, press. So that's the thing. So now it would then, after completing this, it would ask press 1 for another transaction or anything else for exit. We'll enter our choice. So this whole process would be carried out. So this whole process is inside the do while loop. So here's the do. So the whole thing is inside the do while loop. So while the condition or the repeat, if we enter 1, then it would tell to repeat the procedure, so it will again come. So and if we don't want to do another transaction, then we can press anything and it would come out of the loop. So let's see an example here. So here it's asking enter the number of customer, we'll enter 3. Name of the customer, let's say Harry, account number 1000, and balance, let's say give 150. Now the second customer will give is John, account numbers 2000, balance we would give 50. Another customer, the last customer, will say name is Paul, account number 3000, and the balance we should give 20. Then if we enter, then it would show the customers with balance less than 100. So John is the name of the customer, its account number, and the balance it has. So we can see both have less than 100, and where the customer Harry was an exception because his balance was more than 100. So here would now it would carry out the transaction record. Now we would enter the customer number. So here the customer number, if we say we want to transact John's so we will enter 2. So it will ask for enter 1 for deposit or for withdrawal. We'll go for deposit 1. So it will ask the amount, we'll enter 200. Then it will show John account number, the name of the customer, this account number, and the amount of money to be deposited. Now it will ask if we want to do a transaction or anything else for exit. So we will press another for 1, we want to do another transaction, we'll press 1, and it will again ask enter the customer number. We'll give 1 this time in case for Harry. So we will go for withdrawal this time, withdrawal transaction. So we entered 0. So enter the amount, we will enter a 500. Again it was showing Harry, account number this following, and the rupees 500 is to withdraw. So now we want to exit from this, so we can type anything else other than 1. So yeah, it's done. So that's how the program works. So with this I would conclude the video. So yes, thanks for watching.